Great way to start the show. A little bit of early, double a bounce. We got a single bounce. Nice stuff. This is Gulf Island Seaplanes Beaver. This is the pre-show. It's 7:28 a.m. and we're set up here at the harbor, Vancouver Harbour. Hope you're all doing well. I'm going to do a little bit more pre-setup here, and I just want to welcome everybody to the show to start things off. One Av Geek Girls number 1 in the house. Esther L number 2. Philip Ansett number 3. Well, good morning everybody. It's a really nice morning here in Vancouver, and we are at the Vancouver Harbour Float Base. As I say, I'm going to be doing some setup here. Look at that, they're testing the lights. Isn't that neat? Especially for us. Yeah, isn't that cool? So yeah, I'm doing some pre-setup here, so bear with me just for a little bit. I'm now live. That's right. I am now live at the Vancouver Harbour downtown float base for the next few hours of fabulous float plane action. Beaver maneuvering itself in to the dock. Lovely. And our first departure is happening on the other side there. Twin Otter pushing back. Hope everybody's doing well. As I say, I'm just doing some of my final setups here. It's now 7:30, official launch time of our show today. Busy. Again, I'm hoping for another nice and busy show for us. That'll be terrific. So as you can see, they're just doing some final tests on this aircraft. Testing the lights, it looks like it. Hope everybody's had a very nice week. It's been nice here in Vancouver. We haven't had any bad weather yet, but that's not to say things aren't going to change. As a matter of fact, the weather forecast is for a collapse in the weather starting in a few days, and yeah, so that's just how it's going to be. We are moving into the fall season, of course. This will be our first departure of the show. Hello, Lady Di. And Paula, welcome to the show. Oh, there we go, there we go. Pouring on the coal. Yes, nice. Great way to start the show with a Twin Otter departure. Right on cue. It's a nice morning. It's about 15 degrees Celsius. Overcast to keep the temperature moderate. But as I say, the weather starting, I believe, on the weekend is going to be collapsing with our arrival of the fall rains, and that means, of course, our shows are, as they've always been, tentative, right? Tentative depending on weather, but more so as we move out of this summer, winter, into the winter, I should say fall weather patterns, which are typically wet, a lot more moisture. It's good for the forest fires, of course, because it'll put those out. Yeah, you can see lots of cloud up there on the North Shore Mountains, a lot of cloud building at the top there of the peaks. We're not going to be able to see the lions because they're shrouded in cloud and mystery. Yeah, so that was a nice way to start the morning. I'll put myself on camera just to welcome everybody to the show, and yeah, let's just do that right now. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name is Henry Tenby. You are watching the, well, this is, call it the YVR Live, but we're actually at the downtown Vancouver Harbour float base for our live show today, our live stream. And this is the JetFlix channel on YouTube, and it is the 18th of September 2025. It's a fine morning here in Vancouver. Looks like a lot of the crowds, the tourism crowds, have gone away. It's a very quiet walk from where I parked my car to the harbor here this morning. The season is coming to an end for tourism. We do have a cruise ship here, which I'll point the camera at, but I do think it is. We're now at the tail end of the season for sure. 15 degrees Celsius right now. It's going to be 15 to 20 today, and we're going to be here for the next 2 hours. Hope you're going to enjoy the show. Welcome to the show. And what's going on down here? Yeah, looks like he was just testing the engine. Yeah, they've got the cowling off on that particular airplane. Hello, Gerard. Glad you enjoy the hat, Paula. Yeah, it's a nice hat. Air Canada hat. Hello, Mark Weber. Welcome to the show this fine Thursday morning. So, yeah, I hope everybody's had a good week. There we go. They're playing with the turbine down there, as you can see. I think he's... Yeah, they're checking something for sure. Interesting. They're checking. Yeah, hope you're doing well, Mark. I'd like to thank those of you that are the early birds for being with us today. Always appreciated. And we have a beaver sputtering to life. I guess they're just going to do an engine warm-up. It's probably been sitting. And yeah, I hope you're doing well, Gerard. And what can I say? It's been a good week here. We've had good weather, no rain, which is good. So no complaints. And as we move from the summer season into the fall-winter season, I'll move our show back to the airport. So, as I was saying, of course, we're going to become much more weather dependent. We've had a heck of a good run from when we got back from Martinique in early July to now. Really, I think we've gone every week. We've had a show every single week for however many weeks that is. I don't know, what is it, 10 weeks? Something like that. So we've been lucky. Definitely, we've had a good run. Weather's been good. Summer was a good summer here in Vancouver. We really didn't have much in the way of smoke. We did have a smoke on the water show. We had one smoke on the water show. So, but other than that, it was pretty good, I have to say. Welcome to the show, Houston, Texas. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Gerard, I hope you're doing well. Hope all is well over in Ireland. Ireland has been quiet in the news of late, so no news is good news, as they say. Devils. How are you guys doing? There's some passengers. There's a flock of passengers right there going to board. Let's see, where are they going? Lucky Devils. Guess they're going. Yeah, they're going over to this otter right there. That's their ride across to probably Nanaimo, I'm thinking. So yeah, how have you guys been? Not much really in the way of aviation news. Hello, Dante De Piazza. Welcome to the show, Deontay. Thank you, Paula, for sharing on Facebook. Appreciate that. To go for a flight, if you want to join these Lucky Devils, that's a good observation. Yeah, it's about, I think you can easily go for about $100 easily if you book in advance. So put that on your to-do list if you're coming to Vancouver. The further in advance you book your flight, the lower the cost. I think it can come down as low as $65, but I think if you budget $100, you're definitely going to find a flight, and you can join these passengers for a nice otter ride across the water to Nanaimo or Victoria. That's right. Thank you for sharing on social media, Paula. Anybody else that can share our show, that is massively appreciated. It does help bring eyeballs and viewers to the show. So always appreciate that. Lots of birds about. I did see as I was setting up the show, I did see a harbor seal frolicking in the water just on the other side of the dock here. I'm wondering if that harbor seal does show up. No problem, One Avgeek Girl. Yes, for obvious reasons. Totally understand that. It's no problem. Yeah, looking at the forecast here, if you have any weather app on your phone, check it out for Vancouver. Friday is our last day of sun. Starting on Saturday, the long-range forecast is every single day for saturation and a slow reduction in the daily high temperatures. So the rains move in, unfortunately, like clockwork. Full-on saturation with no end in sight starting on Saturday. But this is Vancouver. It's the wet coast. Raincouver are some good nicknames. So, that's just how it is. Here we are. They're testing the engine on this airplane, doing some engine runs. Houston, Texas can use some of our rain. Well, we're going to have plenty of it next week. So, wow, yes, second summer in Texas. I can only imagine how hot it is. Must be absolutely roasting. So, cargo going out. No, they're loading the Beaver, actually. That's what they're doing right there. That fellow there. He's got a hello. How are you doing? Oh, good. My name's Henry. What's your name? Robert. Nice to see you. Have I met you before? I'm with myself, actually. JetFlix TV. I always live stream from this location, so we're live streaming on YouTube. But I have met one of your colleagues. I can't remember his name. A couple weeks ago, but he was on the show. He stopped by to say hello. You're with the Beaver? Yeah. Oh, terrific. Oh, no, I'm not. Yeah, have a good day. Take care. Yeah, so that was nice. So he's the pilot with the Beaver, Sea Air, that's loading the cargo right now. Yeah, it's always nice to have the pilots when they come up and say hello. And that's great. It is very, very, very nice. So yeah, we've met a few of the people, the pilots, and even, I can't remember the fellow's name, but we did have one of the ground cargo operations fellows for Harbour Air that came up to say hello. We've had a few pilots come up. That's fantastic. So always appreciate that. If you're a Harbour Air or Sea Air or a Gulf Island Seaplanes pilot or ground person, please don't hesitate to come up and say hello. So yes, this is JetFlix TV. We are on YouTube, and my name is Henry Tenby. So nice to see, as I say, when the operators take interest in what we're doing. It's very, very nice. We don't get that level of interaction when we're at the main airport. Sometimes at the South Terminal, we did have the pilot from the Navajo come over from Qualicum Beach, so that sometimes he came over and said hello as well. But certainly from the north side, when we're removed from the operation there, it's impossible for pilots and operations people to come and say hello to us. But it is very, very nice when it happens. So yeah, so everything is cooling down here in Vancouver, and Sea Air, he was the pilot for this aircraft, the Sea Air Beaver. So that was nice to meet him. Hopefully we'll get to see him take off. I'm sure we will. Right now they're actually starting up. There we go. They're starting up I think this is the Harbour Air flight over to Nanaimo. So I hope you guys had a good week. It's funny when they say, "Who are you with?" They think, "Oh, you're with, CBC or BCTV." No, I'm not with an official big media news organization. I'm a diehard AvGeek aviation fan service. So might as well just kind of remind everybody that the business behind this channel is called JetFlix, and JetFlix is an aviation streaming service. We stream at www.jetflix.tv, and we have over 1,000 aviation videos that stream from our platform. So that's where all our premium content, all the juicy content that we've produced over the last 30 years lives. So that's what JetFlix TV is. And our presence here on YouTube is you might call it a teaser presence to encourage people to say, "Oh, what's JetFlix? Let me go have a look at that." So that's what JetFlix TV is. There's another Sea Air flight coming in. Caravan. Oh, nice. See if we get a double bounce. Oh, yes, one bounce. We did get a nice bounce. That was very, very nice. Excellent. That was a very nice landing, if I dare say so. And as one airplane lands, it's showtime for our Nanaimo flight. Nice. That was a bit of a right step to get that otter off the water. He's holding it a little bit there, close to the ground. Build up that airspeed and then pull her up. You can see the build up on the North Shore there. That's Lower Lonsdale. Oh, we've got a beaver. If I can quickly get the beat, there we go. So nice. These round engine beavers. Non-piston stuff. Lovely, lovely. So where is our, there we go, there's our otter climbing into the still morning air, staying away from those clouds built up on the North Shore Mountains. Lots happening. Gulf Island pulling off from the dock. Their beautifully painted beaver with the Haida roundels. Beauty. Lovely. Isn't that a lovely looking beaver? As I say, I really like the Haida inspired roundels on the wings and the rear fuselage. So much happening all at once. Hello, Noriba. Welcome to our show, Noriba. Showtime. Lots of obstacles, aren't there? Lots of obstacles. And the water coming off the pontoons, that's kind of neat. Even a bird, see that? There are so many obstacles that these float plane pilots have to contend with, and they have to really be on the ball. You can't be half asleep at the wheel. Well, I think it's the time for the beaver to we're just gonna wait here. Look at this. We've got one round engine beaver and a second round engine beaver. So the round engine beaver is very much alive here in Vancouver. And there they go. This is 1950s technology. Still at the forefront in the year 2025. 75 years after the fact. Isn't that incredible? Yes, I mean, there's not many other technology sectors where the technology endures and is in front line daily service 75 years down the road. I can't think of too many, really. I guess there are 75-year-old boats still in service. And trains, maybe a handful of trains as well. But yeah, it's kind of a unique and nice thing that we have this vintage technology still reliably, safely, comfortably doing its thing 75 years after the technology was created. Isn't that incredible? It's remarkable. It's wonderful. It is a beautiful plane. OCN, as Ken Schwartz was telling us, yes, this airplane has been on the coast here for decades, ever since I was an aviation slide photographer, and that started in 1981. And then Ken said, of course, he knows the registration going back into the 70s. Many of these aircraft, their registrations, OCN is one, have been here for as long as anyone can remember. They live here, right? They're part of the scenery. So that we've got OCN right there, and OLC, also another registration which has been here on the coast forever. So interesting. There goes the passengers from the Beaver. Oh, somebody's nursing a broken ankle. Pilots. Pilot, I should say. Pilot. Hello, Rich Cullum. Welcome to the show, Rich. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to keep my eyes open for that harbor seal that I saw swimming around here. Of course, it looks like it's a water dog. It looked like a dog's head bobbing in the water, but no, that's a seal. An air-breathing mammal that likes to spend time in the water. What else can we say? Definitely, there's definitely a quieter vibe here this morning. This is Cole Harbor. You can see, yeah, it's quiet, right? There's not too many people around. It is early still, of course. It's just coming up on 7:56 a.m. And but there's the Dutch Pancake House. Our Vancouver Dutch Pancake House, and always a nice treat. A couple of weeks ago when I met Marcel and his wife Monique, they went to the Dutch Pancake House. They were here from Amsterdam, and they enjoyed it as well. There goes, I think his name was Colin. There he goes in his Beaver. We missed him climbing in with his passengers. It was nice to see him too. When people take the time to come up and say hello to us. How's the commute on the Lions Gate Bridge? Traffic appears to be moving well, I would say. That's the Vancouver equivalent of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a copy of the Golden Gate Bridge, essentially. Smaller, connecting Vancouver, or Stanley Park, with North Vancouver. The traffic can be absolutely brutal this time of morning, but as you can see in both directions, it appears to be moving quite okay. Yeah, nice to see you, Rich. Well, there they go. There they go. Very nice. They're a little bit heavy. They're heavy. There's a bit of hesitation there, so they're not super light this morning. Noriba, you're joining us from Kobe. That's amazing. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining our show, Noriba. Wow. I think you must be the only Japan-based aviation fan watching our show right now, and especially from Kobe is wonderful. Hello, Donna Davey. Good morning, Donna. And good morning and hello to Etienne. Lots happening here. It's getting very busy. So, at the dock we have this Harbour Air Caravan starting its engines. Oh, action. A little bit of wing wobble. And the Caravan is airborne. Also building up its airspeed. And here goes the Harbour Air Beaver right there. You can see the change in the pitch of the prop. They're up. Such great action this morning. Hello, Hans Olaf Morg. Welcome to the show from Norway. I'm going to point the camera over at the cruise ship here. And hello, Karen Monson. Thank you so much, Karen. Appreciate that. Appreciate your saying hello. We appreciate you. Might have other things happening. That's no problem at all. There goes Harbour Air. So yes, there is a cruise ship here. It is, the sun's just come out, so it's all backlit, but it's sitting right there. That is the cruise ship. Silver Moon. So it's at Canada Place, right there. And here is our caravan maneuvering itself. But first of all, yes, it's waiting because we have an aircraft on approach. Where is it? It's flashing its lights at us. Yeah, there it is, right there. There it is. Yeah, we'll see you when you come back, Karen. That's no problem. If you make it back. So now that that aircraft is safely down, I'm thinking, yeah, one of these two will be launching. Hello, Eye of Ra. Yes, Thursday does come around quickly for sure. Another Beaver starting up. That's the Gulf Islands. It's leaving the dock right there. Okay, Harbour Air, caravan. That's a right step, very obvious right step. Ooh, hot rod, flying like a cowboy. Meanwhile, back at the float base. There we go. Oh, nice spray, nice spray. So nice. And it's time for Gulf Island Seaplanes Beaver. surface skimming. That's exciting. A little bit of wobble. Wobble, wobble. I smell burnt kerosene. Oh, nice and sweet. Nothing like the smell of burnt kerosene in the morning with my cup of coffee. Oh, crikey. Crikey. We've got a... There we go. I got it. Got it. Thought I was going to miss it. Excellent, excellent. So glad we got that. Glad I didn't miss it. And another one. Holy camole. So much action. No rest for the wicked, and we have another. Got another one on approach. I don't have an ident yet, but it's probably, well, it's a single engine airplane of some nature. On floats, of course. Hello, Python Power. Welcome to the house. Double trouble, double toiling trouble. Okay, so yes, we do have. Let me just point the camera over at our approaching machine. Where is it? There it is. Right there. Looks like a turbo beaver. It is a turbo beaver. No, it's a turbo otter. Nice to see you, Python Power. Hope you're doing well. I think your school's started up. And hello, Alex Silva. Buenos dias. Joining us from South America. Nice. Well done. Beautiful landing. Textbook. Textbook stuff. Absolutely textbook. Good stuff. Thank you so much. Yes, One Av Geek Girl is correct. JetFlix loves South America. We've been to many places in South America. And where are you from? What country are you watching our show from, Alex? From Argentina? Are you from Paraguay, Uruguay, Chile? Just curious which country in South America you are joining our show from. So they're going to be, we'll watch the passengers deplane Twin Otter Oh, lots of burnt kerosene in the air this morning. I'm really quite enjoying it. Really quite enjoying it. Everybody's getting their bags. Great way to start the morning with a Twin Otter flight from Victoria to Vancouver. It's a great looking airplane, Houston. I agree. I love the Twin Otter. Fabulous looking, great lines on the Twin Otter. It's just a beautiful looking piece of kit. Hello, Delta Phil, who will be coming to Vancouver on the 5th of October. Yeah, I'm being spoiled with burnt kerosene here, folks. Whew. Somebody ought to manufacture that as an aftershave or some kind of... It's a nice smell. It's a nice smell. Perfume. Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Well, we're wishing you a nice visit to Vancouver, Delta Phil. Bring your umbrella, bring your rain gear, because it will most likely be saturation based on the weather forecast. So, but that doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. Definitely not. I won't inhale too much, it's gone. The smell of burnt kerosene, it usually just lasts a second or two. Sweet smell, airport smell. And then it's gone. Yeah. The sun is up. The day's started. Business people are arriving. I think it's mostly, I'm going to say mostly business and commuters on these flights at this point. Not so much for tourists. I think the tourist season is behind us, I would say. Yeah. Well, Jet A, right? The non-piston engines all run on Jet A, which is essentially kerosene. The round engine airplanes, the piston engines, run on a different kind of fuel. It's not Jet A. It's not it's a different, harder to find fuel. It's not available everywhere. So yeah, the turbo engines, turboprop engines, and jet engines like that. That's a PT6 engine, and of course the Twin Otter. Those are PT6 engines, same engine. But when you move to a 1950s engine, a round engine as I call them, a piston banger. Like this, the original Beaver engine here, that is running on avgas, so it's not nearly as well refined a petroleum product. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. In the 50s and 60s, of course, it was very common. Every airport had avgas, and in the year 2025, it's less readily available, just because the industry's evolved away from these old piston engines to turbine engines and jets. So yeah, that's kind of your 101 introduction to the difference between piston engines and turboprop engines and jet engines, and how they're powered, or how they're fueled, I should say. In England, they have a different name for fuel. I can't remember what it is, but they've got their own unique name for it. Ah, what the heck is it? Some of you can help me. It's one of those funny names. Is it Perfuna or Pufuna? Yeah, in England, it's this unique name which they've used since I don't know, for the last 60 years. Some of you can help me with it. Some of you English viewers might be able to tell me what you call it. Perfuma, paraffin. It might be paraffin. You guys can Google that, P-A-R-A-F-I-N, and then you'll get the correct spelling on it. No, not petrol. Plug in, what do they call Jet A, kerosene fuel in England? Paraffin, P-A-R-A-F-I-N, something like that. Okay, Etienne's got it. P-A-R-A-F-F-I-N, paraffin, that's it. I'm not sure if you guys use that terminology in Europe. And, yeah, paraffin. That's what they called it, you know, in this. I think maybe even through to current day. But maybe it's more the old school people that call it that. Paraffin might also be a wax. It's just that they use the word in the context of aviation fuel as well in England. So, yeah, Etienne had it correct. Paraffin. I of Raya never heard that from Ireland. You just say A1. Yeah. If you Google it, you'll find it. You'll find it in old aviation movies, you know, from the 1960s. They'd bring a fuel Bowser would pull up to a Bristol Britannia or a de Havilland Comet, and the voiceover would say, and they're now going to be loading the paraffin, uploading at a rate of 10,000 kilograms every hour. Blah, blah, blah. That's how they would say it. So you guys haven't watched enough old aviation movies. You need to get a subscription to JetFlix TV and head over and watch our classic content to get up to speed on aviation terminology from the 1960s. So Aya of Raya says, British standards derived from standards for kerosene for use in lamps, known as paraffin in the UK. Whereas American standards derive from aviation gasoline practices. Interesting. Thank you for that, Aya of Raya. If you just plug, thank you so much for looking that up on YouTube or not on YouTube, on Google, Wikipedia. That's great. Yeah, you see, we learn something every day. Well, they're loading up the Twin Otter here for their flight to Victoria. So, Python Power says, I'm actually studying aviation this lucky year. Well, congratulations, Python. Python, do you know what your plan is for when you graduate? Are you going to go into the aviation maintenance side of the house, the flying side of the house, management, dispatch? What is your area that you might like to pursue when you graduate from school? I'm curious to know. Well, they're just getting this Twin Otter buttoned up. It's getting ready to depart. Wow, Alan says, I've been on a Britannia and a Comet. Wow, Alan. Yeah, you are very lucky. I've been on a Comet ground running at Bruntingthorpe, and that's in my video content to be processed for presentation. So I do have high definition video of live on board the Buscombe Down Comet 4 that was at Bruntingthorpe up until several years ago, but I've never flown on a Comet, and I've never flown on a Britannia. Wow. So, so Alan, if you can tell us, where were those flights? Would love to hear. Was it Dan Air? Were you on a Monarch Britannia? Were those BOAC flights that you had as a kid? Just curious to hear which airlines you flew. The Britannia and the Comet 4C. Okay. Yeah, Britannia was also nicknamed the Whispering Giant. It was powered by 4 Proteus turboprop engines, which actually delayed its introduction to service by a couple of years. I think the Britannias went into service in '58. And they were supposed to go into service in late '56 or maybe '57. But yeah, they took a delay because of the development of the Proteus engine. But yeah, it was a fine airplane, the Bristol Britannia. And we had 5 of them based, I think 5 or 4. Canadian Pacific had 4 or 5 based here in Vancouver. They operated them for just 7 short years, between 1958 and 1965. So yeah, very short by today's standards. Of course, they were made redundant by the arrival of CP's DC-8s. Wow, Alan, BOAC Heathrow to Aden. Incredible. Fantastic. That is amazing, Alan, that you flew to Aden. BOAC. Was Peter Keating your chief steward on those flights? Now, if you remember that, you deserve a major prize. Was Peter Keating your purser? That's funny. ANBO and ANBE, these were Britannia 100s. Good for you, Alan. Good for you. You were on Britannia 100s, which was the short body Britannia, not the 300s. Those are Britannia 100 registrations. Maybe they're 200, but yeah, you know what I mean. They're the short Britannias, the original series of Britannias. ANBO and BE, yeah. I'm sure you'll never forget that. This is the Hello boat arriving from Nanaimo. It offers walk-on ferry service between Vancouver Harbour and downtown Nanaimo. It's very nice. Nice way to travel between Vancouver and Nanaimo. And our Twin Otter is starting engines. Boy, so much to talk about. But wow, I'm very, very impressed with Alan on his BOAC flights. Better off on a Camel. You are 14 years old. Wow. Wow. You were 14, but old enough to remember, right? Absolutely. I remember my flights when I was 14 years old. I was flying on CP DC-8s to Honolulu. Remember them well. Yeah, 14. Fabulous stuff, guys. Great conversation. Great conversation. Well, if you get to work at the airport, that'll be fantastic. I would say that's a great start for sure. Python. That would be fantastic. Ground crew agent is a great first job. I think that'll be fantastic. Managing the airplanes on the tarmac, you'll enjoy it. And as an aviation fan, you'll be in heaven. So that is fantastic, Python. I am wishing you much success in your ramp side operations goal, which I'm sure you will be able to very nicely achieve. That's wonderful. So Alan says I'm 79 now, and Dad was in the RAF. Wonderful. That is, I'm so happy to hear that. I knew that. I was going to guess that your dad was probably with the RAF because Not many civilians would have been heading to Aden in the 1950s. Of course, the RAF had bases in the Gulf at the time. Several bases in the Middle East. RAF bases. Aden was definitely one of the bigger bases. They had a base in Cyprus as well. A couple of bases. Arkatori. There's another one as well. Yeah, the RAF had quite a presence in the Gulf in the 1950s, as well as in Singapore. Seletar. Oh, look at the spray. Look at that. It's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. That view is hard to beat. Look at that. Lovely. Well, great conversation, guys. Paula Day says, my granddad was in the RAF in Cyprus for a while. That's right. So the battery's at 22%. So I'm gonna have to do a battery change here in the next short while. We also have right there. I'm watching the battery quite closely now. As we're coming down to 20%, I'll have to do that battery change. So just be aware, folks. And Alan says, my late brother was an ATC at West Drayton. That's right. I'm not sure if I think they closed the West Drayton ATC. But if you were flying into Heathrow Airport in the 60s, your pilots would have been speaking to West Drayton Air Traffic Control. I've been to the Aviation Hobby Shop at West Drayton many times in the 1980s. It was run by Tony Eastwood and his family. It was a 1980s institution, the Aviation Hobby Shop. It was this little shop in an arcade that you could take the 222 bus from Heathrow bus station to the Aviation Hobby Shop, and I would spend hours there going through the books, magazines, models, postcards, slides. It's fantastic. Isn't that gorgeous? That's right. Aviation Hobby Shop at West Drayton. What a great memory. It was basically aviation enthusiast Tony Eastwood set up the shop, I believe, in the early 70s. And he and his wife Janice ran that shop for more than 30 years. And TAHS, the Aviation Hobby Shop, TAHS, standard for the Aviation Hobby Shop. They produced numerous aviation enthusiast publications over the decades. Great memories, West Drayton. Fabulous. Okay, we're going to do a battery change right now because the battery's at 19%. So let me do the battery change and then we'll be back. So give us just a second here, folks. Give us a second. Thank you for joining us, Python. It was nice to have you on the show. You have a very nice day. So I'm going to do a battery change right now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll do a battery change. I'll be back momentarily, everybody. I'll be back momentarily. We're just getting set up here. We're back from a battery change. Thank you for your patience, everybody. We are back from our battery change. Okay, terrific. Okay, yeah, so I was talking about my aviation hobby shop memories. Hello, DW, King of Mischief. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the show. Looks like we have passengers boarding this particular Beaver at this moment. Temperature is just perfect here. It's like 15 degrees. It's a nice, cool temp. Not uncomfortable at all. And really liked it. Really liked the weather this morning. When it's too hot, it becomes uncomfortable. So this is nice. Thanks for joining us, Python. Appreciate that. As you guys can see, where's the windsock? The windsock is right there. Windsock is dead as a doorknob. So it's calm weather flying today. Calm weather flying today. Still a good number of passengers coming off the Hulu boat. And Alan says from West Drayton, the terminal control covered the southern area, England, to and from France. This is where I'm standing right now, and you can see the people lined up down below there waiting to board the boat, heading over to Nanaimo. Yeah, it's been a great pleasure having you on the show, Alan. I always very, very much appreciate hearing from those of us that had aviation, had the luck, the timing to be able to enjoy aviation in eras before my era. So, you know, having memories of flying on BOA, Sea Britannias, and Comet, fantastic. My memories are Viscount, Vanguard, DC-8, with Air Canada, and CP for the DC-8. So yes, I'm a generation ahead of Alan, or before Alan. No, he's a generation before me. I'm a generation after. So yeah. I love that, you know, those great British airliners. Well, look at that. Our docks are kind of empty. Which is different. Alan, whereabouts are you watching from? Are you in the Greater London area? Are you somewhere else in the UK? Just curious where you hang your hat. Yes, so this is the Vancouver Harbour. Now I can show the cruise ship, actually, because the sun's gone behind the clouds. So here is Canada Place Convention Centre. As you can see, Canada Place. And we do have a cruise liner right here. That is the Silver Moon, as you can see right there. Silver Moon, Silver Sea Cruises, high-end cruise line. They ply the waters between Vancouver up to Alaska, inside passage. And look at, we have a sea bus, one of our own Vancouver sea buses pulling into the sea bus terminal right there. That's operated by BC Transit, provides commuter service between North Vancouver and Vancouver. So yes, this is our Silver Sea cruise liner. right there. And we have another sea bus right there making its way back to the other side. These have been in service since the mid-70s here in Vancouver. They're kind of a Vancouver institution, much like the Star Ferry in Hong Kong. They'll probably still be plying these waters 100 years from now. Unique design, isn't it? Flat and squat. Flat and squat. Yeah, if you've been to Hong Kong, you've probably been on the Star Ferry from Kowloon over to Hong Kong Island. Just across the street from the Star Ferry on the Kowloon side is the couple of famous hotels. One of them is the famous Y. Back in the day when I used to go to Kai Tak for plane spotting, myself and 3 or 4 other aviation friends, we'd rent a room at the Y. It was kind of one of the cheaper places to stay. Accommodation used to be very expensive in Hong Kong back in the mid-1990s. So yeah, we would hang our hat in the Y, and if the Y was booked, which sometimes it was, we'd have to go to the Chungking Mansions. So Chungking Mansions were not very luxurious. You can Google it, Chungking Mansions in Hong Kong. You might call it a borderline flop house. They were low-cost rentals within the this large, quite old apartment complex. That was the Chungking Mansions in Hong Kong. But Raffles was nearby as well. So if you fancied a nice tea, high tea, you could go to Raffles. I think it was Raffles. Yeah. Good memories of Hong Kong. We've got passengers gonna be boarding their Twin Otter, I think. Great stuff, guys. So Alan's joining us from Dumfries in Scotland. Okay, terrific. Been on a Vanguard, Heathrow to Glasgow. Of course, yeah, BEA operated the shuttle between Heathrow and Glasgow, often with the Vanguard operating that service. And I think the Vanguards were in passenger service up until about 72, thereabouts. Then, of course, it was pretty much all Trident, mostly Tridents operating the service. Hello, Hans Olaf. You're the only viewer from Norway. I think you are, for sure. Yeah, but you're lucky to have been on the Vanguard, Alan. I've had Vanguard flights, both Air Canada, and most recently I was on the Vanguard, Air Bridge Vanguard, Hunting Vanguard, that's now at the Brooklands Museum. I was able to get a flight on that in 1995 before it retired. So I've had 2 different airline Vanguard experiences in my life: Air Canada and Air Bridge Hunting. But yes. I've never been on a Britannia or a Trident. Would have loved a Trident flight. Yeah, fabulous conversation, guys, today, and gals. Enjoying it very much. Going to sit there for a bit, I think. So our last passengers are boarding. buttoning up the Canada flag. Twin Otter. Yes, Hans, you are the one and only Norwegian or anywhere from the Scandinavian region on our show today. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Houston. I'm glad you've enjoyed the live shows. I'm so glad you enjoyed the information, the banter as well. Appreciate that. Showtime. Now that the sun has gone in, the temperature's dropped quite a bit, actually. Had great action. Look at that strange contraption. That's a barge of some type, isn't it? Being towed. I got distracted by the barge. He's going off into the wild blue yonder. I want to watch the twin engine start here. This is what I want to see. That's it. I don't know the answer to the question I have read. Don't know that. Don't know. It's not a silly question. I don't know. Maybe there must be an endorsement for floats. Can they jump from one to the other? I think they probably can, but I'm not 100% certain, and I would prefer to let somebody who has the definitive answer on that question chime in. Yes, have to investigate. Exactly. Almost ready to start engines. Yeah, it's a question for one of our pilot visitors. Sometimes they're here, sometimes they aren't. You know what? The temperature must have dropped by about 10 degrees in the last 10 minutes. It's nuts. It is cool. I'm going to say it's probably 14 or 15 degrees. Maybe 13. The wind picked up a little bit. The windsock just came to life. So we're just waiting for this Twin Otter to light up those PT6 engines for us. The beacon is on. They've got the beacon on. So I'll show you. The beacon is on. Top, there you go. You can see the flashing beacon. Top of the airplane, so it means they're going to start those engines very shortly. Probably the starboard side first, so I've got the camera set up for that eventuality. Is the cargo ship Lico Caroline still there? I'm not sure about that. That's something. No, I just don't know about that one. If it is, it's underwater. Let's put it that way, and it's not something I've seen. Yeah, seaplane rating. Yeah. There you go. So they just need to have a seaplane rating. It's the one and the same license with an extra rating. There we go. I'm going to get my kerosene here in a second, probably. Wafting kerosene. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Beautiful. Yeah, that's cool. That looks amazing. That's really amazing. Paula Day. Thank you so much, Paula, for gifting 1 JetFlix membership. Congratulations to Hans Olaf Mork for picking up that membership. Wow. Thank you so much, Etienne, for gifting 1 JetFlix membership. And congratulations to Eye of Ra for picking up that membership. Thank you so much, Paula. And thank you so much, Etienne. I appreciate that very much. PB 477. Weather in Stuttgart, 25 Celsius. Whoa. Wow. Wow. That's fabulous stuff. Esther, thank you so much, Esther L. That is very much appreciated. Esther has donated $2. Thank you, Esther. That is very kind of you. Donna loves the Canadian flag colors on our Twin Otter. Have a good vacation, Paula Day. Hope the weather is nice and warm in Turkey. To get some Turkish lira. Nice dog walk by. Stop by to have a look at us. That's cool. And the Twin Otter is not wasting any time. I think they're going to start their takeoff run right there, it looks like. Maybe not, maybe not. Maybe I'm dreaming in Technicolor. Yeah, we all love Turkey. Who doesn't love Turkey? What a wonderful country. That's right, Donna. Thank you for that. If you guys are watching the show, please do hit that thumbs up button. That would be very much appreciated. And if you're curious to know how to make a donation, right beside your chat box, you can see a little $sign. So you can just click that button and you can make a small donation of your own, $1 or $2 or whatever, whatever tickles your fancy. It's as simple as that. Bodrum. I've never been to Bodrum. There we go. Showtime, showtime. Nice stuff. It's unbelievable that the harbor is so nice and busy for us. But as I say, we're coming to the end of the season for our summer shows here at the float base. We are now actually going to be transitioning over to the airport. Now, just remember, as the weather changes as well, our shows will become more tentative in nature, because if it is raining, we cannot do the shows. So it becomes more of a case managing around the weather. Sometimes we do pop-up shows at other times because we're not able to do our show on a Thursday if it's rainy on that particular day. So things become more tenuous. And also remember, I travel a lot in the fall. That's my travel season. I tend to be attending shows, doing quite a bit of travel. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind, folks. As we move into the fall, that's just how things work. That up right there. Wow, the engines are like stereo speakers. I'm glad you're enjoying the sound, Houston. Hans Olaf Mort says, Turkey is a fascinating country, but I don't like Erdogan. Well, I think a lot of people might have the same thoughts. Yeah, it's a wonderful country. Obviously, countries' politics come and go, change, right? We have to wait for times to change. Hopefully things will get better. Beautiful. Inbound from Victoria, roaring into the harbor. Look at the string there on the back of those floats. Beautiful stuff. That is fantastic. And at the same time that the Twin Otter lands, Hulu is leaving as well for Nanaimo. Isn't that a nice photo? We've got 2 airplanes, 1 Hulu. It's beautiful. Just lovely. Hello, Philip Ansett. Will I broadcast float plane shows next summer? I would think I will. I mean, that would be nice. I mean, who knows? Things can change. You never know. But let's just hope that we will. That would be the plan. Stan. That would be the plan. So one Avkey girl says, JetFlix, he's not going anywhere. He's been there now over 30 years in different positions. So Uber pilot Dave says, I love this location more than the main airport. Yeah, it's certainly different, right? I mean, this kind of doesn't get monotonous. We do get monotonous, the main airport. It is true. Yeah, I know who you guys are talking about. He's been there over 30 years and he's not going anywhere. But he won't live forever. Neither will the gentleman who rules Russia. They won't live forever. Mind you, Robert Mugabe did live to 100, right? He ran Zimbabwe with an iron fist until he was essentially a centenarian, whatever they call them. So yeah, some of these guys do last to 100 years of age. So we may have to wait, and then some of these iron-fisted guys can be shown the door. But we just have to wait. I mean, Stalin's not around anymore. Does anybody remember Nicholas Ceausescu? He's gone. And then there was the guy who ran East Germany. So these people eventually fade away. Interesting conversation though, guys. Hoş geldiniz Anil Bakı Durmuş. Merhabalar, merhabalar to everybody. That's right. Merhaba to Anil and merhabalar to everybody. Always nice to have our Turkish friends in the house. It's great. Oh, now I'm thinking about a Turkish breakfast. In Turkey, they have the world's most amazing breakfasts. It's like they bring a buffet to your table. It's just everything. The breads, the eggs, the sausage, sucuk, everything. It's honey, all the jams and marmalades, and oh my goodness, yeah. The Turkish coffee is unbelievable. You cannot beat a Turkish breakfast, like the full Turkish breakfast with all the bells and whistles. It's something to experience once in your life. Here comes the passengers. Passengers coming off the Twin Otter. Yeah. So Hans says my favorite airport in Istanbul is Sabiha Gökçen Airport. Pegasus. I've flown into SAW many times. I like SAW as well, more so than the international airport. I loved the old Ataturk Airport. The old Ataturk Airport was fantastic. I did a lot of spotting at the old Ataturk Airport from various locations. And I remember when I went to Turkey for the first time with one Avgeek girl, and when was it, 2002 or 3, somewhere in that time frame, there were tons of Soviet airliners operating into that airport from the various CIS countries. You know, Tupolev 134, 154, Yak 42, IL 86, IL 96. It was just incredible. It was just so fantastic. All these, Soviet designs from the Soviet era. And it was a very good time to see these fantastic aircraft. And I'll never forget, we were staying at this apartment of one Afghan girl that's not far from the airport, and I can't remember the neighborhood. It was in Hulkala, and I remember one day from her apartment, her old apartment, I could hear loud engines of one of the approaching aircraft, and from the apartment I looked up and I saw a Tupolev 134 on approach into Ataturk Airport from the apartment at Hulkala. And yes, it's one of those sights and sounds you never forget, really. Yeah, that's right. It was 02. One Afghan girl confirmed. It was 02 for 48 hours, and that was incredible. Wow. Yeah, 2002. My first visit to Istanbul, we flew on Lufthansa out of Vancouver. It was an A340-600, I believe. Yeah, one of my first flight on an A340-600. Here comes the passengers. Yeah. So Anil said, I saw one of my videos from Ataturk Airport at the time the A380 landed. Yes, that's right. I was there for the when the Airbus brought the A380 to Istanbul for demonstration in about 2006, maybe 2007, and I filmed it. That was good fun. That was great fun, actually. I'm glad you got to see that video, Anil. I'm glad you have it. Maybe you own the DVD. Beaver. Looks like he's flying right towards us. That's kind of neat, isn't it? He doesn't have the flashing lights, though, installed. It's just this full-on switch, not on-off, on-off. It's awesome looking, actually. Sputter, sputter. Chop, chop. Very neat. That was cool. That was a very nice landing on the Beaver. Very cool stuff. Yeah, there was some good spotting location at Ataturk Airport. The fly-in was good. the Fly-In shopping mall. They have a nice outdoor balcony, and that was a great place to watch the airplanes from, for sure. The Fly-In shopping center. That was one of the best locations in the world, actually. It was absolutely fabulous. Marvelous location. I loved the Fly-In. This is the same fellow that came to say hello to me. I think it might be. I think it is him. Yes, that is. I'm pretty sure this is him. I'll zoom in. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's the fellow who came to say hello. With the baseball cap. That is him. That's him. Wow. Yeah, the fellow with the pilot with the baseball cap is the fellow who came to say hello to me. Wonderful. That was great. That was great. Yeah, that was him. So Anil says, the Fly-In is just giving a deep sadness right now, but it would always be good on the memories. Yeah. Yeah, it was good on the memories. That's right. The Fly-In. Another lander. Caravan. That was cool. Very nice lander. And meanwhile, back at the dock, they're just doing the final loading of this aircraft right here. So yeah, again, everybody, as we move into the winter, fall, shoulder season, weather changes are going to make our shows more tenuous in nature, right? I can't do the show when the weather's lousy, or rainy, I should say. So we're going to be transitioning now. This will be our last show from the float base for this season. When you see me next, we'll be at the airport. Weather dependent. Next week, actually, I have a matter that I'll have to attend to, so I won't be able to do our show next week. So, but when I do see you back soon, it'll be at the airport. Depending on the weather, so we'll have to play things by ear. I'm glad you enjoy the show, everybody. Thank you, Paula. Welcome to the show, Gary. Nice to see Gary Sua. Hope you're doing well, Gary. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that, you know, things may change a little bit because we're moving into the out of the summer into the fall, and I won't see you next week. And when we do start up, it'll be weather dependent, and the weather forecast for this coming Saturday is a start of a very wet days to come. So we will be moving into weather saturation of biblical proportions here in Vancouver, as is normally the case. It gets very wet. comes our caravan pulling into the dock. We've got passengers boarding the Twin Otter. These passengers here are boarding their Twin Otter right there. Yeah, thank you, Etienne. I'm glad you enjoyed the location. That's right, Ayevra. We'll see it next year. We'll be back. We've had a good run here. We've definitely had a very good run. We've enjoyed it a lot. This location. We've all enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been a good one. It's been a good one for sure. I'd like to thank those of you that have been regulars watching our show over the past 10 weeks that we've been here since early July. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's much appreciated. Okay, we've got a turbo Otter starting engines right here. From one action to the other. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's happening at the airport. See if there's anything new when we come back to it. Oh, burnt kerosene again. Burnt kerosene. Nice. Yeah, there's that burnt kerosene. Nice stuff. Yeah, it's been the time's gone by really quick, actually. Can't believe it. It's 9:20. The last 2 hours have just flown by in a blink of an eye, really. There it goes. Here comes the spray. Okay, the Twin Otter starting engines, so good timing. We're going to have a Twin Otter departure here momentarily. A few minutes, I should say. Time flies when you're having fun, that's right. So true, Donna. You saw the right step. The airplane leaned over onto the right float to pull itself out of the water. And we got another lander. Caravan. Great action, great action. Beautiful. So Twin Otter's heading out. Okay, here goes the Twin Otter. Wow. Beautiful. That's beautiful takeoff. Caravan taxiing in, floating in, I should say. Well, I'm going to thank everybody for being here with us today. The time has really flown by quick. We've had a really fun visit here at the harbor. This is our last show at the harbor. Appreciate those of you that made the donations today. Thank you very much. Thanks to everybody for being here as well. Appreciate that. And thank you to our mods, One Ev, Geek Girl, and Gary Suha for being here on the show today. So I won't be here next week, but we'll see you soon thereafter, depending on weather. So just want to thank everybody. It's been a very, very good show. That's it. It's a wrap. Thank you, everybody. We'll look forward to seeing everybody next time. Bye for now.